Good morning. I would be remiss not to mention that this labor of love, 180 half-hour sharings, this has been so enjoyable to me. I've enjoyed sharing. I'm bowing to the OCD, my OCD brother, making sure that the pictures are straight. My beard is neat. Housekeeping, general housekeeping. But anyway, the point is that I've thoroughly enjoyed these sharings. And the last few have been devoted to events and reflections surrounding awakening, the process of awakening, the consequences of awakening as it turns out, which I'm going to address today. I want to preface this by saying that we're all quite fond, culturally, our society, about getting it, not just doing it, but getting it, obtaining something. And it's not a stretch to see enlightenment, awakening, as a goal, as an accomplishment, as you gotta get it. Something to pursue. We're taught that all good things come through effort. If there's a paradigm of our existence as we find it in the early 2019, is that hard work is rewarded. Nothing comes easy. There's a price to pay for everything, including accomplishments. No pain, no gain. Just do it. So it's a given that we're more than encouraged to venture outwards, to put effort. And we will be rewarded. That's the other half of the equation. We will be awarded for our accomplishments. And this way of looking at things, reaching out, an outward search that we have constructed and shared. But unfortunately, much the opposite is so. I talked about questions aimed at answers. And then I talked about turning it on its head and looking at questioning every answer that you've accumulated, no matter the source, whether it was outward or inward. Question beliefs, question assumptions, question the very paradigm that we have been jointly constructing as our shared worldview. We turn that on its head. And here again, through effort, and only through effort, through striving, through suffering, do we attain anything that we put a positive spin on. And we're going to turn this too on its head. I've discovered through doing nothing, no thing, expending no effort, utilizing no discipline, that a goal-oriented view is the very definition of Maya. This is the illusory world we talk about. And when we say that everything is an illusion, what we really mean is that everything that we've created in our vain attempt to quantify, to qualify, to explain, to rationalize our existence, what the world is only what we see it to be. Can't be any other way. And this is the illusory. So the idea that looking at everything as illusion, everything is Maya, somehow relieves you of the responsibility of fully engaging, fully participating, is nonsense. Nonsense. We have a responsibility as long as we're in the body to do what we have to maintain and support this beautiful vehicle, this gift without which we wouldn't be able to I want to say achieve, believe. I don't want to use any of these words. Become is not the right word either. Be awakened to recognize our eternal, constant self. So we're coming back, we'll go back to getting something. Through our efforts, through our diligence, through our discipline, we achieve. This is what we're taught, encouraged, and nurtured to accept. So it's understandable that the same tools that we have developed to pursue in the search of fulfillment, whatever that might be, fulfillment in the physical, mental, and emotional realms. Little value. Seldom do you hear anyone encourage no effort, to do nothing. We even call it a couch potato. But what if instead of sitting on a couch and watching the idiot box, watching TV, or sitting in front of the computer, which is ironic because that's what I'm doing as we speak, but I'm hopefully using it as a tool at my disposal. So it's not unreasonable that we use language, methodology, our learning curve, and apply it to all aspects of our life. So too in the spiritual, and I use the word pursuit because spiritual pursuit, going after something and thinking that we're going to get it, in the sense of getting it means to understand. And it might take us, some of us longer than others, to see that all this effort ultimately rings hollow. The pursuit of material things becomes saturated and meaningless. You listen to the billionaires that have it all, and they talk about what's missing. And they want to find it, they want to get it, they want to pursue it. And as long as you're trying, it remains elusive. Everybody wants to be happy. The pursuit of happiness is guaranteed to Americans in their Constitution, in their Declaration of Independence as an inalienable right. But nowhere, even if you look in the finest print, nowhere is it, or nobody, not only is able to define, to express what happiness is, but how to obtain it, and more importantly, sustain it. Well, happiness is overrated, just as materialism is overrated to the person, particularly to the people on a survival level. The longing, the struggle, the reach for more and more. Ironically, what you thought to have more would lead to happiness. But it's just the opposite, isn't it? The more you have, the more you have to worry about it. The more you have to worry that someone else is trying to take what you have. So it's in this background that we strive, search, question to our spiritual heritage. And indeed, it's a heritage. We all, from the simple fact of being born, have inherited the infinite, eternity, completeness, wholeness, oneness. So what I'm going to turn on its head again in this spirit is the search, the journey, getting it. As such, it's an achievement. But what I want to say right now, right here, is it's not about what you get. It's not, you don't get it. How can you get something that you've always had, still have, and will have? How do you get it? How do you achieve it? How do you reach it? How do you journey? How do you take step by step? Which path will lead you to what you are? So what I mean is this about what you give up. It's not about what you get from awakening or enlightenment. Quite the opposite is so. It's about what you have to give up. I know for many of you that have a yearning for the spiritual life might be taken aback. What do you mean? I'm not going to get something? It's not about getting something. It's about losing. And I said, exactly. I shared before, upon awakening, once you've gone through Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, once you come back to ground zero and find yourself still in a body. Not only in a body, but you've, as I've shared, because I have other language escapes me, I shared that after this experience I found myself an infant, unprotected infant on a dirty sidewalk. Everything that I thought I had was gone. And only with time was I able to really examine this loss. We build platform. We build a system to sustain us as we understand ourselves to be a stage. And we're but actors on that stage, but we're really vested. How do you feel when everything that you thought you were is gone? That's a huge loss. And I can only, as always, speak for myself, but the preliminary, the lead up to awakening, the process was fantastic. More than I could have imagined it to be. But the landing, the hard landing, that realizing that everything that you hold dear, part and parcel of the intricate construction of our egoic self, our place in the world, our goals, our ambitions, our accomplishments. This is what you lose. In other words, you lose everything. So this process ends up to be blood, sweat, and tears. And depending how heavily vested you are in the false construct, the hollow construct of who we thought we were, who those around us contribute and support this belief structure. It's all gone. Your most intimate relationships, including the primary intimate relationship, which is with yourself, is shredded and gone. So this is the loss I'm talking about. You lose everything. And you get nothing. You get no thing. So if you wonder, if you're looking for some la happily ever after, celebration or creation of a new and better you, a shock's coming. So turning this on its head, you get nothing and you lose everything. And what I want to share is what great news this is. If everything's gone that you've achieved, mistakenly believed you achieved, is no longer with you. Why do I choose to celebrate this? Well, as that maturation, as you come from a helpless, alone baby Buddha on a cold, hard sidewalk, you age quickly, you grow quickly. Somehow I got the formula of, for every human year is 8 Buddha years. So the celebration comes in when something is leveled, when something is gone. Herein lies an opportunity to reinvent, rediscover, with the clarity, with the bliss, the constant clarity, the constant bliss that reality is. So, what you lost becomes the ultimate opportunity. Now you can build again with the 2020 hindsight that you've accumulated through this experience, through this tumultuous, unsettling, the antithesis of whatever most of us expected it to be. Who knew that it was a loss of everything? Not me, certainly not me. And it took years to articulate, to understand that awakening is not about what you get. Instead, it's about what you lose. Everything as you've come to know it is gone. Now it takes a while. It takes some maturity. It takes some time to celebrate this loss, to understand the necessity of this loss, and the underlying truth made available only through this loss is that you are, you have been, and always be in awakened state. And maybe you can start to understand more about the tools that you use, chiefly meditation, We all almost always think about sitting, quiet, contemplation, seeking silence, which is meditation for most of us is only a small part of our day. Even an hour is not a big chunk of our day. But we're searching for silence, trying to quiet our mind, still it, silence it, in order to be embraced by the infinite, all that there is. But after this experience, we start to understand that the silence we've been seeking can include, can happen despite a noisy greater mind or the monkey mind, that we can be in a state of silence that includes everything instead of eliminating. And this leads to living in grace, in a state of grace. And we see that the tool of sitting meditation, and in the Rinzai tradition we practice walking meditation. And you see that meditation becomes living meditation. All that you do, everything that occurs, anything that happens to you is accepted and dealt with in this state of meditation, feeling the envelopment of bliss, silence. No matter what's occurring on the outside world, or even the inside world, your mind, your emotions, your gut, your feelings, they can all be experienced in this true state of being. It's the only constant, and you gave up to receive.